What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Lunalight deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful deck to play this format that can easily OTK your opponent. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome awards. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Gold Leo. Gold Leo is basically the Stratos of the deck, with the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand, and then discard a card. Also, if a Lunalight monster is sent to the graveyard while this card is in the monster zone, even during the damage step, you can actually target one of them and add it back to your hand, but you only use each effect of this card once per turn. We then play 2 copies of Silverhound. Silverhound is an amazing 2-of in the build with an awesome effect that if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon a Lunalight monster from the deck except another copy of Silverhound, but you cannot special summon from the X deck except for Lunalight monsters while you control that face-up monster. Also, when a spell or trap card or effect is activated on the field, quick effect, you can banish this card and a Lunalight fusion monster in the graveyard to negate the activation, which is a pretty powerful effect for this card to have. We then play 2 copies of Kaleido Chick. Kaleido Chick is amazing in this build, but you really only need 2 copies of it because it's so easy to get to. His card is ability, once per turn, you can send a Lunalight monster from your deck or X deck to the graveyard, and the name of this face-up card on the field can be treated as that sent monsters if it's going to be used as a fusion material this turn, basically being the Elemental Hero Prisma of the deck. His card also has the ability that if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can turn a Polymerization in the graveyard and add it back to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to use to instantly grab our copy of Poly back so we can instantly go in for another fusion play. We then play 2 copies of Black Sheep. Black Sheep is really cool as a 2-of in the build because this card can actually search Polymerization from your deck to your hand. As you can discard this card to activate one of these effects to add a Lunalight monster from your graveyard to your hand, or add a Polymerization from your deck to your hand, and if this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion summon, you can actually add to your hand 1 face-up Lunalight Pendulum monster from your X deck or a Lunalight monster from your graveyard instead, which is a pretty cool ability to be able to use to instantly grab the exact card that you need. It's just an awesome 2-of in the build. We then play a single copy of Yellow Marten. Yellow Marten is just awesome in the deck as a 1-of, because if this card's in the hand or the graveyard, you can turn a Lunalight card that you control, accept a copy of this card, return it back to the hand, and if you do, special summon this card in defense position, but banish this card when it leaves the field, and this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add a Lunalight spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is an awesome ability to help us get to the exact cards that we need. You can also play a single copy of Emerald Bird. Emerald Bird is also a really good 1-of in the deck, but you only need a single copy of this card. This card is the effect that is normal or special summon. You can send a Lunalight card from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, draw a card. And if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can actually target a level 4 or lower Lunalight monster that's banished from the graveyard and special summon it in defense position, but negate its effects, which is a great ability to basically just bring back a Lunalight to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Tiger. Tiger is so good in this deck, but I feel like 1 copy is really all you need in this deck now. This card is an insane pendulum effect that once per turn, you can actually target a Lunalight monster in the graveyard and special summon it, but it cannot attack and its effects are negated. Also, it is destroyed during the end phase, but it's an awesome ability to help you bring back your Lunalight monsters to your side of the field. Plus, it's a soft once per turn, which is actually insane. This card is a pretty cool monster effect as well, and if this card on the field is destroyed battle by card effect, you can trade a Lunalight monster in the graveyard and special summon it. We then play a single copy of Lunalight Wolf. Wolf is great as a 1-of in the build for its pendulum effect that basically makes it a miracle fusion. Having the ability that once per turn, you can actually fusion summon a Lunalight fusion monster from the X deck by banishing the fusion materials listed on it from the field or the graveyard. We play a single copy of Tri-Brigade Froctal. Froctal is basically a foolish barrel for the deck, because you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to send a level 3 or lower Beast Warrior Wing Beast monster from the deck to the graveyard, which is a great ability to get the exact Lunalight you need in the grave. We then play 3 copies of Fluros. Fluros is definitely a 3-of in the build, just to basically help us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is an amazing 1-of in the build to help us get the exact Lunalight we need in the graveyard. We'll make a single copy of Triple Tactics Talent. Triple Tactics Talent is awesome as a 1-of in the build to either let us draw 2 cards, take control of an opponent's monster, or look at our opponent's hand and choose a card from it and shuffle it into the deck. We'll make a single copy of Polymerization. Polymerization is great in the deck as a 1-of. Tell us going for a fusion plays, but it's very easy to recycle this card, so you only need a single copy. We lay a single copy of Lunalight Fusion. Lunalight Fusion is great as a 1-of in the build. Basically, let us fusion summon a Lunalight Fusion monster from the extract using monsters in our hand or field as fusion materials. And if your opponent controls a monster with special summon from the extract, you can also use a Lunalight monster from your deck or your extract as a fusion material, which is a pretty cool ability. We then play 2 copies of Heavy Polymerization. This card is insane in this deck. This card helps us instantly make a copy of Liger Dancer. It's just such a powerful card in the build to let us fusion summon a fusion monster from the extra deck using 3 or more monsters from the hand or the field as material. And also, you can banish monsters from your extract as a material up to the number of monsters that your opponent controls, but you lose life points equal to total attack of monsters banished this way when the monsters fusion summon, which is a great ability to help us make the exact fusion monster we need on our side of the field, and this card is just such a powerful 2-of in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Lunalight Perfume. Perfume is great in the deck as a 2-of, but I feel like 2 copies is really all you need. This card lets us target a Lunalight monster in the graveyard and special summon him, and also banish this card in the graveyard and discard a card to add a Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand. We then play 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. Goods is good, and this card is amazing to help us send our copy of Perfume to the graveyard or even a copy of Serenade Dance. This card is just really good overall in the build to help us get the exact spell or trap that we need in the graveyard. We then play 3 copies of Triple Tactic Thrust. Thrust is amazing in the deck as a 3-of because this card can search out cards like Heavy Polymerization, it can grab cards like Triple Tactics Talent, it just grabs any spell or trap that we really need, and it's just an awesome 3-of in the build to help us get to the exact cards that we need. We then play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets. Droplets is amazing on the build just to use as a board breaker to basically just half the attack points for opponent's monsters and negate their effects, and helps out a lot in this build to help us just swing in for game. We then play 3 copies of Lunalight Masquerade. Masquerade is definitely a 3-of in the build with the ability that during your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you can send a Lunalight monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is a great ability to help us get Lunalights that we need in the graveyard. Also, if you fusion summon a Lunalight monster, you can add a Polymerization from your graveyard or banishment back to your hand, meaning we can recycle or copy Polymerization. Then, you can actually discard a card, and if you do, once, if you fusion summon a Lunalight monster this turn, you can also banish monsters from the graveyard as a material, which is a broken effect to help us basically Miracle Fusion out the exact card that we need. We then also play 3 copies of Fire Formation Tinky. Tinky is just really good overall in the build to help us grab the exact Beast Warrior monster that we need from our deck to our hand. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 2, starting off with the Black Goat Laughs. Black Goat Laughs is great as a 1-of build to basically use it as a thrust target in the deck, just in case we're going first and we want to set a really powerful trap to our side of the field, as this card basically just stops any deck in their tracks. We then play a single copy of Lunalight Serenade Dance. This card is amazing and the build is a 1-up to basically just send to the graveyard off your copy of Foolish Burial Goods, because during your main phase, you can banish a card from the graveyard and then send a card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Lunalight monster directly from your deck, which is just such a powerful effect to use with your copy of Foolish Burial Goods to instantly get this card in the graveyard. So, that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Liger Dancer. This card is such a broken boss monster, and it's so cool to be able to summon. It requires a copy of a Lunalight Leo Dancer plus 3 more Lunalight monsters to make this card, but it's well worth it. With the ability, then it must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials, and it's unaffected by card effects except for Lunalight cards. It can make a second attack during each battle phase, and once per turn, a quick effect, you can actually send a Lunalight monster from your X deck to the graveyard and destroy all of your opponent's special summon monsters, which is a crazy powerful effect, just to board wipe your opponent so we can go in for game. We then play 2 copies of Leo Dancer. Leo Dancer is definitely a 2-of in the build, and just such a cool card to help us step into our copy of Liger Dancer. And it's still really cool to be able to summon this card out to your side of the field in this deck, because we are also playing Panther Dancer, so we can summon this card out. But this card is amazing to be able to summon. It cannot be target destroyed by your opponent's card effects. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase, and also once per turn. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked a monster, you can destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls, which is a crazy powerful ability. We then play 2 copies of Perfume Dancer. Perfume Dancer is great as a 2-of in the build, because this card fixes a problem with the copy of Lunalight Perfume, because there is a space between Luna and Light in the Lunalight Perfume card. Because this card has the ability, if this card is fusion summoned, you can actually add a Lunalight Perfume from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to instantly search it out. You can also target one of the Lunalight cards you control and return it back to the hand or the X deck, then special summon a Lunalight monster from your hand, which is a great ability to be able to use to instantly bring out the exact card that you need. We then play a single copy of Panther Dancer. Panther Dancer is great to be able to use, so we can summon our copy of Leo Dancer, just in case we need to. We then play a single copy of Saber Dancer. Saber Dancer is also really good to be able to send from the X deck to the graveyard. This card has a great ability that you can actually banish this card from the graveyard, target a fusion monster you control, and it gains 3,000 attack until the end of this turn, which is a great ability just to give our copies of our monsters a little bit of a boost so we can go in for game. We play a single copy of Guardian Chimera. We aren't playing Polymerization in this deck, so this card is really good to either be a pop 2 and a draw 1, or a draw 2 and a pop 1. We play a single copy of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. Tiger King is great in this deck, because when this card is XZ summon, you can set a Fire Formation Smaller Trap directly from your deck, and once per turn you can detach and turn this card to negate the effects of all face-up effect monsters currently on the field, except Beast Warriors, until the end of your opponent's turn, which is a broken ability. Basically use this card like a skill drain, which is insane. We then play a single copy of Baguska. Baguska is just really good to help you slow down the game, just in case you need to. We play a single copy of number 60. Number 60 is crazy powerful to either let you draw 2 and discard a card, special summon back a monster from the grave in defense, or double the attack points of a monster you control, which is a crazy powerful effect to help us swing in for game. We made a single copy of SP to use as a double interruption. 1 copy of Cross Sheep. Since we are a fusion deck, this card comes in very handy to help us bring our monsters back to our side of the field. And then finally, a single copy of Alamirage, which is just a really good option overall. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Lunalight deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try, because it's so fun to be able to play, and it's insane how powerful it is to be able to summon out cards like Liger Dancer to your side of the field and just go in for game. So, that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.